You were sitting down at the table your grandmother left you, and you look down, and there it is. That white, cloudy ring right in the good wood. Somebody set a cold glass down without a coaster. Maybe it was last week. Maybe it was your brother-in-law at Christmas. Maybe it was you, and you have been not looking at it for 2 years. Pale and milky and sitting on that beautiful dark wood like a bruise. So you get a rag and you scrub. Nothing. You try furniture polish. Nothing. And now you are online and you are finding a $15 bottle of ring remover, or worse, a man who will refinish the whole table for $400. Put your wallet away and do not scrub that table again, because there is something in your house right now, something you already own, that will take that ring out overnight. You spread it on before bed. You go to sleep. In the morning, you wipe it off, and the ring is gone. And the reason it works is going to surprise you, because that ring is not what you think it is. I am Artie Sterling. Let me be straight with you right at the front, so you know whose workbench you are leaning on. I spent 10 years as a finish carpenter before I ever taught a class, and 30 years teaching high school shop after that. And in all those years, the thing folks brought to me most often was not a broken chair. It was a table with a ring on it, and a look on their face like they had ruined something that was not theirs to ruin. Most of the time, I handed it back the next morning. Now, before I tell you the fix, I want you to understand what that white ring actually is, because once you know, the fix makes perfect sense, and you will never panic about one again. Here is the thing almost nobody knows. That ring is not a stain. There is nothing on your table, and there is nothing in your wood. Your table is not bare wood. It has a finish on it, a clear coat of lacquer or shellac or varnish laid over the top, maybe as thin as a sheet of paper. That clear layer is what you actually see and touch. The wood is underneath it, sealed away. Now, a cold glass sweats, and that water sits there, and over a few hours it works its way down into that thin, clear finish. Not through it, into it. And once the water is in there, it collects in thousands of tiny pockets, far too small to see. And a finish full of tiny water pockets does not let light pass straight through anymore. It scatters it. It bounces it back at you. That is the white. It is not a color. It is not dirt. It is light, bouncing wrong, off water, trapped inside a clear coat, which means the wood under there is perfect, untouched. It has been fine this whole time. So the fix is not to scrub the ring off. There is nothing to scrub. The fix is to get that water back out of the finish. Here is what you do, and it costs you nothing. You need one thing, an oil. The one I reach for is plain petroleum jelly, the same jar sitting in your bathroom cabinet. If you do not have that, plain mayonnaise out of the refrigerator works just as well. And I'm not joking. Olive oil will do in a pinch. Any one of those three. Wipe the table dry first so it is clean. Then take a good spoonful and lay it over the whole ring, thick and a little past the edges. Not a thin smear. You want it covered. Then leave it alone and go to bed. What the oil does is sit against that finish all night and slowly draw the water up and out of those little pockets. Oil and water do not get along. Given 8 hours of quiet, the oil wins and the water leaves. In the morning, wipe it away with a soft, dry cloth, and most of the time that ring is simply gone, and the wood looks exactly like it did the day before somebody set a glass down on it. If a faint ghost is left, put more on and give it another night. A bad one might take 2 or 3. There is no harm in it. Oil is not going to hurt a finished table. Now here is the part almost everybody gets wrong, and it is the reason people ruin tables. They get impatient. They go get sandpaper or a scouring pad, or they hear somewhere that toothpaste will do it, and toothpaste is a mild grit, so they start scrubbing. Every one of those things takes the finish off. Understand what that means? The ring was in the finish. Sand the finish, and you are not removing the ring. You are removing the clear coat, protecting your grandmother's table. Now you have a dull raw patch that will never match, and the next glass that sweats goes straight into bare wood. You will have turned a problem that fixes itself overnight into a job that needs a real refinish. Slow beats grit. Every single time. Lay the oil on and go to bed. Now some honest notes, because I never want to promise you the moon. This works on a white ring or a cloudy white haze. White means the water is still up in the finish. White means you can win. A dark ring is a different animal. If that ring is black or gray or deep brown, the water did not stop in the finish. It went all the way through and down into the wood itself. Oil will not touch that one. That needs sanding and refinishing, and that is a bigger Saturday than this one. So, look at the color first. White, you can fix tonight. Dark, and you have real work ahead. Now let me tell you something, because this one stayed with me. Years ago, a woman brought me a small side table. Cherry, a nice piece, with a white ring on it the size of a coffee cup. She had it wrapped in a blanket in the back of her car, like it was hurt. It had been her mother's. Her mother had passed that spring, and this woman had set a glass of iced tea down on it on the day of the funeral, and forgotten about it. She had been living with that ring for 4 months. She told me she could not sit in the room with it. I put petroleum jelly on that ring while she watched, and I told her to come back tomorrow. She looked at me like I was making fun of her. She came back the next morning, and I wiped it off, and the table was perfect. She cried right there in my shop. 4 months of grief over a thing that took a spoonful of petroleum jelly and 1 night of patience. That is why I keep telling folks, not because it is clever, because nobody should sit in a room feeling like that over something that was never broken. Why does nobody tell you this? Same story as everything else at this bench. Walk into any hardware store, and there is a shelf of ring removers and blemish pens and restore-it wipes. $12, $15, $20. And there is a furniture refinisher in every town who will happily quote you $400 for a tabletop. There is no display anywhere for the jar of petroleum jelly you already own. A company cannot build a business selling you what is already in your bathroom cabinet. And a man who refinishes tables for a living has no reason at all to teach you the thing that means you will never call him. Not because anybody hit it, because nobody profits by saying it out loud. So, we are going to say it out loud, right here. So here is what I would ask of you. Tonight, go look at the table you have been not looking at, the one with the ring you have been keeping a placemat over. Lay a spoonful of petroleum jelly on it, thick, and go to bed. In the morning, wipe it off. Then come down to the comments and tell me what happened, and tell me whose table it was. Because a table with a ring on it almost always belonged to somebody. And there is usually a story sitting underneath it. I read every single one. And the next time we sit down at this bench, I want to show you what to do about a wooden door that sticks in the summer and swings free in the winter. Every old house does it. There is a right way and a wrong way, and the wrong way is what almost everybody does, which is to sand the door until it fits in July, and then spend January with a door that will not close. The right way takes about 5 minutes, and you only ever do it once, so put the wallet away, go get the jar out of the bathroom cabinet, save your grandmother's table, keep it simple, keep it cheap, and do it right the first time. The folks who built the furniture in this country knew that, and we are going to remember it together.